Hey everyone, this is Steve and I am Engine Post, and today I'm going to show you in a Fusion tutorial how to pull off this effect. This is a 5-part series where we're going to go through everything from creating that portal effect, animating it, tying animations together by using expressions. We're going to discuss how to build the background plates for images and pull focus. We're going to use a third-party tool to do that that's very reasonably priced, as well as how to sync audio. So again, this is a 5-part series. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Alright, let's get started. This is the second to last tutorial in our series of building a portal. And before we start, let's take a look again. You've already seen the effect we're going for, but let's talk about how we're compositing. In the last tutorial, we talked about how to create these compositing frames. Let's look at how that looks here. And so if I just switch over, let's say, to this, and I'll send this up to number 2 here. And we'll go back to the start. We'll notice that this is in focus and the platform is not. So I'm going to play it and pause it again in a second. And then it pulls the focus, and now the platform is in focus, but the city is not. And then finally, the guy appears on the platform in focus while the city remains out of focus. So how do we do that? We created 3 images from a single image that we got from pexels.com. Let's see how to add this. So if I go over here to my comp, this is what we have so far. I'm going to grab this and send this over to display 2, and you'll notice we have a nice little animation here where everything is animating nicely of our little portal, right? And I kind of like how that looks. It's kind of nifty. Let's move that out of the way for now, though. I'm going to put that over here. What we're going to look to do is replace this background when that thing animates. We'll also have to change a position of where that portal is animating. But right now we're focused on trying to replace this background, right? So the way we do that is we go where we have created our images. And here are our images. The first one, the city's in focus, the platform is not. In the second image, the platform is in focus and the city is not. And then finally, in the third image, the guys on the platform, they're in focus and the city is not. And so we need those 3. So let's grab those 3 with a shift click, and we're going to drag it right down here into our Fusion comp. There we go. But I don't like how it's positioned it at the moment, so we're going to flip those around. I'm going to grab these, move them to the other side, because we're going to replace this. They're going to join up here. And I also want to sort of separate these things. We're going to take these apart. And I eventually want this to aim up here, right? So first we'll start with this. This will be the focus pull. So I'm going to rename that. We've already learned how to do that by hitting F2. I'm going to name it to focus_pull. Okay, so that's how it changes from far away to near. We need it to go from 1 to 2. So I want 1 to be in the background. Right click and a drag, drop. That's my background photo, and then this one to be in the foreground. Right click and a drag and a drop. There's my foreground photo. Let's take a look how this looks over here, and click on the keyboard number 2 at the top of the keyboard. It's starting off showing the number 2 focus. So that's where the platform is in focus, but the city's not. I want it to start by showing the photos here out of focus. Before I change another thing though, I'm going to go over here just so that we get the timing of everything right. This portal group is merging into this, and we're going to eventually merge up into here. So what I want to do is I want to take this merger, and I'm going to send it to viewer 1. And if I hit play, nothing's going to happen over here, but it will show the appearance of our little portal, right? So we like that. So I want to sync that up. So basically, that animation starts at frame 60. That's when the start of the portal starts coming to life, around 60. So what I want to do is I want to do a focus pull from about 30 to, let's say, 50, something in there, to have it go from the background to this. So how do we change that? With the focus pull merger selected, I'm going to go over to this little target thing next to the gear. And in here I can change the blend down to 0. And that's how I want its default to be. So that means this is totally visible, this is totally not. If I begin to move it toward the 1, notice that it appears to switch as the other photo becomes more dominant, until finally only Pixel's photo 2 is visible. So again, let's take it back to blend. It's going to stay that way till we hit around 30. So I'm going to go to frame 30, and I'm going to double click on blend while I'm selected focus pole. So here we go. And that means now the city all the way up to 30 should be in focus. Then 30 to 50, when I hit 50, now that I've started animating this, when I drag this up to 1, that means by 50 it will have transitioned. So, and then it'll stay that way now for as long as I mean it to stay that way. So let's take a look at that. If I play forward, you'll notice the transition from this photo to the photo where this is in focus now. And that kind of gets our attention, but we want it to get more of our attention, right? And the way to do that is maybe to put a, let's put, we'll deal with that in a minute. And we'll deal with it with lighting. We're going to do it with a mask, but I want to do it last. So to simulate it now, I think what I'll do is, we're going to delete this. And to have a little fun, we're going to take this and drag it over here and make it the background. Sorry about the pop-up. Okay, and I'm going to now send this background over. I'm going to make it bigger over here. Okay, so now we see everything over here. We see this transition plus the portal, right? So let's take a look at that. So it does a focus change, and then we see a portal. Cool. That's cool enough. We know the portal needs to happen in the center here, but I don't want to move it quite yet. So we're going to leave it there. But once these things merge, so this is merging with this, then I want to put on top of this something else. So I'm going to attach a merge to this. So I'm going to click off of it for now and hit merge. Then I'm going to drag this and say, let's make this the background. Right click and drag and drop, make it the background. Okay, so now this is the foreground. These images will be the background. They're going into a new merge where on the foreground I now want to click background, and I'm going to take this, which is set to black, and make it the foreground. What? That's going to blank everything out, right? So if I take this and send it over to like 2 here, or to 1 by hitting 1 on the keyboard, you'll notice that I mean, it doesn't cover this whole image, because notice that the green frame is really where the image, where this is what renders, not this whole thing out here, right? And so again, this is what we're going to be rendering. And so what we do here is we want to make this look like a vignette. So I'm going to change the background and call it vignette. So F2, vignette. And then we want to put a mask on it. We're going to put a round mask and make it elliptical. So there's a mask. Now I'm going to try to get this out of here. Sorry about that. And I'm going to invert this mask. And I am going to feather it. I like them apples. And now we're going to make it wider. Right? That's a cool kind of a thing. But then to make it more transparent in the edges, I want to grab that vignette again, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to grab just the alpha layer. So to see that more clearly, you hit this little spinner that points down and shows more stuff. And now I'm going to lower it. So notice how it's not as intense. But really, this is not exactly what I want. What I really want to do is I want to move that ellipse. And I want it to focus on this area here at a certain time. That's how we're going to do it. So actually we could do 2 masks. How about? The first one will be a little darker than the other. So the first one here should sort of be real light. And it's going to be a full size. We're going to make it kind of fit all the way to these edges if we can. There we go. And then we'll just have a very subtle mask. So this is our vignette, right? Just kind of bring in the corners, make them a little dark. Okay, I like that. That's how that looks over here. The next thing we'll do is probably do another merger where we put something that almost brightens up this area here to focus it. And the way we could do that, there's a bunch of ways to do that, but let's think about this. How do we want to do that? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Actually, I like the vignette the way it is, and I think we'll just leave it the way it is right now. We don't need to shift the light to focus it. We'll use a different technique. And so basically what we want to do here is say that we're totally cool with holding middle mouse button. We can drag up a little bit. I just want to grab these and drag them down. This transition is good. It seems to be working. We want to do a pull focus, and then basically at 60, that's when you'll notice that our portal starts to appear, right? So that's when it really appears. We want the guy to show up when it's opened up a little bit, but to handle that, we're gonna have to move it. And so basically we take this, shift space, right there, transform. We don't want the 3D, we want the 2D. With that selected, now we can grab this sucker and we can move just the portal into position. And we want it to basically be aiming straight at his back when we're done. So it'll expand out like that. The other thing is I kind of don't like I like the vignette, but I wanted this to stand out a little more. So one way to do that would be to put this on top of the vignette, but I think it's okay. What we could do is we could just brighten it up a little bit, right? So let me hold down. Let's see if that works. I'm going to do a shift space and type brighten. There's a brighten in contrast control. Let's see what happens if I, with that selected, actually it's starting to fade out by then a little bit. Let's put it about there and let's see what happens if we up the contrast. I definitely don't like that. Let's just brighten it. Definitely don't like that either. Why is it brightening the whole background? Should just brighten our little guy there. So probably just means, I'm going to delete that. It probably just means our mask is a little, this vignette is a little dark. So let's go back here and let's just keep bringing that down until it just affects the corners. And that'll be okay. So again, this mask, this portal is going to explode out of space right there over the bricks and then spin off into infinity, right? Just disappear forever. And so the next thing we might want to do is, now we have to make the guy appear. To do that, we have a second mask. So this, our merger. So this loads into this the way we want. This needs to now be the foreground. And by default, if I remember correctly, we did set this already to 0 maybe. Oh, he's already there, you'll notice, unless I put it to 0. So we're going to set him to 0 right away. And we're going to put this about the moment he should start appearing, which I think will be right about there, let's say. And we're going to drop a keyframe right there. So we double click up here and blend on the merger. Remember, we're using the blender slider to transition between this photo, which doesn't have him on it, and the photo that will have him on it. So if I go take the merger, and we're going to call this, I'm going to rename this to something called appear. Yeah, because that's when he appears, right? And we'll double click blend. And then from there, we're going to move it forward. Again, the thing fades out at 120. So maybe around 110-ish or something. Right about there looks like a good moment when he should be fully formed. So let's pull that forward so it looks like that. Like he kind of like appeared because of that light portal. So let's see how that looks. So he's not there. He's clearly not there. Then this sort of makes him appear. Right? Spins clockwise and he appears. You know what I don't like? I definitely don't like the fact that the blue clouds are moving in a circle. I think the blue clouds should just move straight out and the red lightning should rotate in a circle. So to deal with that, we go over here. We're going to expand this group. Let's move over to the right some more, holding the middle mouse. Drag. And I want to grab this, and this is how we rotated it, right? We changed the angle. I'm going to go up here to 120 where that rotation ended, and I'm going to say right click, remove key. And so now that never rotates. If I animate that, it'll seethe and change. Actually, it's not even doing that. So I think we forgot to animate the portal cloud. So let's try to up the seethe rate on that a little bit. And now it should change more. The red moves, the blue just kind of expands out. And I kind of like that better. And now we're nearly there, folks. So if I take this merge, I'm going to throw it over here to 2. I'm going to set the fit to 50%. I want it at about 75. So I'm going to go to custom and delete 50. You got to do that or it'll add to it, and hit 75. I like that. And then let's see how this looks so far. So let's back it up and hit play. We should see focus change in the portal. Oh, I like that much better. Let's see it one more time. Focus pull, portal light, he appears. One more. I like it. It works for me. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is add sound. And we'll do that and render in the last video. So thanks for watching. There's one last video, and that's just adding some sound effects and rendering. And so be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video or these videos and you want to see more like them. Leave a comment if you have some ideas of future videos. And you know, folks, we're nearly there. I hope this hasn't seemed too complicated for the coolness that we're getting out of it. And so let's collapse this group again. Have a good one, and keep using Fusion and all these cool tools, and share your thoughts. Talk to you soon. Bye.